This is Elton Kane for Finextra at Cybos, and I'm at the Misys stand speaking to Elliot Limb and Tim Tyler. Elliot, can you tell me at a practical level, how is the digitalisation trend affecting corporate banking, and what are corporate banks learning?
Good question. So I think interestingly where they're going is it's not a tactical solution, it's a strategic solution. So what they're having to do is the lessons we learned from sort of the vendor outsourcing, offshoring, you've got to fix the process before you actually digitise it. If you're trying to digitise something that isn't there as a proper process, you're going to get it completely wrong, you're going to put a veneer, you're going to sort of get in the way of what we're trying to achieve here through digitalisation.
How is the operating model evolving to become more collaborative?
It's going across the entire ecosystem. So the operating model really is the bank, it's the corporates, and it's also the vendors that are involved as well. So making sure that flow through the entire operating model from top to bottom, bottom to top, is absolutely key.
Tim, how does the greater connectivity both internally and externally as a result of this trend open up greater opportunities?
I think one of the key points you made there is both internally and externally. I think too often it's looked at a relationship just the bank itself or just the bank to its customer, but these days with digitalisation we need to be looking beyond those boundaries. We need to be considering the network effect of it, so considering network partners such as Swift, and we're currently here amongst the Cybos delegates, but also looking beyond that to other forms of networks that you might be involved in, and it's not necessarily networks you may know of today. It's being able to communicate with those networks in the future. It's being able to open up your data. Who owns the data? Whose data is it? How can digital start surfacing that data both for the bank's benefit and your customers' benefit? But then future models of work as well. So what partners are you going to have to get involved in? Which of these fintech companies that are operating at the moment and coming up with these great ideas are you going to have a relationship with and expose your data to and your customers to in a secure way to leverage what they're doing? And then finally, I would say it's looking to the future around third-party app providers as well. The open banking forum, the open data movement, if you will, of just making sure that data is available to those who need to consume it, that have the right to consume it, and being able to play on a level ground with them.
Elliot, you mentioned earlier the need to address processes before the digitalisation. What kind of process changes do you see as being necessary? And do you have anything else to add about the challenges and opportunities in this area?
I think we've got to go for simplicity, agility. So I think very much with processes. If people can take their entire process, simplify it, make sure that they can componentize so they can switch out, so they know what they're going to digitize. As I mentioned earlier, the ecosystem is evolving. People are going to have different ownerships, different parts. If we can move the digitization forward around that ecosystem, then that's going to be key. So I think to sort of recap, we simplify the process, we digitize across the entire ecosystem top to bottom, and also we've not mentioned analytics. I think data analytics is absolutely fundamental to the way we trigger this across the board. Keeping the process flow simple allows people to differentiate on the analytics of the data we come through.